These are assembly instructions to my s'mores gift box. I'm starting with the graham cracker pieces, so I've just folded down on all the score lines for both of the larger pieces. One of them has 2 octagonal cutouts in it, and the other one has a solid panel. So I'm starting with the one with the solid panel, and I've got that panel down on my craft mat. I'm putting glue on the tab that's on the right and on the left, those little tiny tabs in between my panels. And then I'm lifting my side up, and I want the cut edge of this side to be right on the score line of my tab. And I'm going to do that for both tabs. So next I'm going to put glue on the tabs that are on the other end, both the left and the right. I'm folding up that front piece and just gluing my tabs into place on both sides. So next I'm putting glue on that front flap and the side flaps that are around that cutout. I'm folding that panel down, and I'm just making sure that I have nice square corners. I want the cut edge of my side piece to be right against the score line of my back flap. And I'm going in through the cutout and applying pressure on the front flap to make sure that it's nicely glued into place. And then I'm just pushing those little tabs downwards like so. So that's the bottom graham cracker. And I'm going to flip it over right away, and I'm going to put my little dots. So these are to simulate the little dots that you have on a graham cracker. I'm using a very well used piece of transfer tape so as not to tear my cardstock. I'm just centering this as best I can, applying it to my surface. So I have my second panel. This one has 2 cutouts. So this one gets assembled the same way as this one. So next I have the layer that's for my piece of chocolate. So I'm folding down on the score lines for it. So it's the same as the previous box I just assembled, but with a few little extra steps. So this is an extra step that really isn't necessary, but I kind of like the look of it. I have some more of that chocolate brown vinyl, and I'm just going to apply it to the side that doesn't have the tabs in the center of the octagon. So the part with the vinyl becomes the bottom of my box. So I'm putting glue on the 2 center tabs, and I'm bringing my side over to the corner on both tabs. Then I'm putting glue on the 2 tabs at the front. So I'm bringing that front panel up and gluing my sides into place. So now I'm putting glue on the sides that are just the extension of where I have put my vinyl. And then I'm putting glue on the tab that's at the front. So I'm tucking the sides in, and I'm gluing down my front. The edge of that front panel matches up with the score line, and I have my sides in place. So I'm going in with the bone folder and spreading that glue. So the whole idea here is these are the seams to my sides, and I want them facing downwards so that they're less noticeable. So now I have these thin strips of vinyl that I'm just applying to the sides of my chocolate layer, and I'm just doing them freehand. So next I'm assembling the walls of my box. I'm just folding down on all the score lines. Well, the yellow markings that you see on these panels are there to help you position the different layers of your s'mores. So the drawn section goes towards the bottom of the box. So I'm just putting glue on that side tab, and I'm putting the cut edge of this piece right along the score line of my tab. And then I'm flipping my piece over. I'm folding one end over and putting glue on the second side tab. And then I'm folding my end over, gluing the cut edge of my end right along the score line of my tab. So next I have those drawn lines towards my right hand side. I'm laying those tabs flat on my craft mat and putting glue all over them. And there are 8 of them. So next I am folding them towards the center of my shape, and I'm lowering this solid octagon into my shape. And then I'm going in with my bone folder and just spreading that glue. And I want the sides of my shape to follow the cut edges of my octagon at the bottom. So next I'm moving on to my marshmallow pieces. I've already folded down on the score lines for some of them. So I'm just folding down on the tab at the top and at the bottom. And then I'm folding on those little tiny tabs on the side. And then I'm laying my piece flat on my craft mat, and I'm just running my bone folder right along the edge. And this is just to smooth the area between my tabs. And I'm doing that for all 8 of my marshmallow pieces. So I'm just taking any one of those pieces and I'm putting glue on the top tab and on the bottom tab. And then I'm taking the cut edge of another piece and I'm gluing it so that the score lines meet at the top, the first tab, and the score lines meet at the bottom. I'm flipping my piece over so that I'm looking at the inside of it, putting glue all over those 5 remaining tabs. And then I want the cut edge of this piece to go right along the score line of my tab. It should create like a mounded effect between the 2 panels, and as if you were squishing a marshmallow and the sides were expanding. So I'm just going to keep doing that with all 8 panels, gluing the top tab in place, the bottom tab in place, and then gluing in the remaining tabs. So now I've worked my way all the way around, and I'm just going to do the exact same thing, just joining the last and first panel so that it makes a continuous shape. So this is my marshmallow layer done. So next I have a square with the same cutout as the chocolate layer, and it's cut out of the same material. I'm covering the surface of this with more of that chocolate brown vinyl. So next I'm taking my marshmallow piece, and I have the piece that I've just decorated with the vinyl facing downwards, and I'm inserting those tabs in the cutout that's in the middle, and then I'm folding my tabs over like so. I'm putting glue on the tabs, folding them down onto the base, and gluing all 8 of them down. And so once they're all glued into place, I'm just taking my bone folder and just running it around the perimeter just to make sure that everything is nicely glued in. Alright, so next I have the same situation happening at the top. However, I have my corner piece of my chocolate diagonally towards the top right. I'm lowering this so that the flat edge of the octagon cutout on this piece is at the bottom and at the top. I'm just folding back on all those tabs. I'm putting glue on every single one of them and then just gluing them down. So once they're all glued down, I'm flipping my piece over and I'm using my bone folder just to go along where those tabs are and spreading that glue. I'm starting with my first piece, the graham cracker, and then I'm positioning my second piece, which is the chocolate. I'm taking my box piece and I'm lowering my marshmallow piece that I've just assembled onto my box piece. Not all the way down, just to the second drawn line from the bottom. And then I'm inserting my chocolate piece, and then I'm inserting my bottom graham cracker piece. So at this point you want to make sure that this edge is parallel to this edge. So you've got your chocolate that's askew, but you want your graham crackers to be exactly on top of one another. So I've removed my box temporarily, and I'm just putting glue on the very bottom of it. Then I'm inserting my box again. I just glue that center piece right inside, and then I'm lifting up that one panel for my chocolate. So I'm just kind of sneaking in there with my glue, gluing the corners down to the corner of my chocolate piece. So next I have that piece that has the 2 cutouts. So I'm putting glue all around the perimeter of this piece, and then I'm lowering my piece right on top. So I'm pressing down on that piece underneath. I can probably sneak in there with my pokey tool and just apply a little bit of pressure just to make sure that my glue takes. And then I'm folding my tabs back, and as best I can, I'm trying to glue them down to the platform, like so. The corner ones can be fussy, so I'm going to try with a little double-sided tape. Just get that instant stick with the double-sided tape. And then for the sides, I'm just using glue. Now I have a second frame piece, and I am putting glue all over the underside of it, and I'm gluing it over those tabs. And then I have my lid piece, so I've already folded down on the score line at the back. So I have more of those graham cracker dots cut out of vinyl, and I'm just applying them to the top of my lid piece. So I'm putting glue from the score line to the edge on my lid piece, and then I'm positioning my lid so that it's nicely centered on the top of my box, and then I'm folding down. So I'm just gluing down that strip to the back of my box. Next I'm using a Velcro dot. These are 3/8 of an inch and they are clear. I'm putting 1/2 of my Velcro dot right on that top tab, and then I'm lightly positioning the second half of my Velcro on top. And then I'm folding my lid down as it falls naturally, positioning my Velcro in place. And then I'm just going to separate my Velcro and add a little extra pressure to make sure that they stay put. And so that's my s'mores gift box.